We get back in front of our home crowd, playing at Optus Stadium. It would be massive for the group to get a win.
So you missed out on some points, but did you gain anything from the time away on the run?
Yeah, well, it was sort of an unexpected trip. Within a sort of a day and a half we were off, but the group handled it really well. We're already a pretty close group, but a couple of weeks of bonding definitely doesn't hurt. And then, like you said, didn't come away with the points, but plenty of learnings to take away from both games.
Like there's still plenty to take away from this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're 4 and 5, but we've been in most of our games, and if we can just get that consistency piece right, our best footy is really good and holds up against teams. So there's definitely plenty to take away.
What's stopping you from playing that best footy more?
It's probably that consistency piece that I was just touching on. If we could play 4 quarters of our best footy, would be really competitive. Staying on task as a group. We're quite a young group that are still learning. But yeah, when we are playing our best, we're pretty good. So it's just being able to, all 3 lines, to be able to keep each other on task, stay focused, and really just pull 4 quarters together.
Ben Rutten was somewhat critical of your midfield treatment of Zach Merritt. What did you guys? Was that a plan going into the game, or is that something that you have talked about when you come up against strong midfields?
Well, Essendon were a really fierce team on the weekend, and so were we. We put a good player on a good player. Caleb went to Merritt, and I think when you're just playing AFL footy, that's the sort of aggression that comes out in the game from both sides, and I thought it was really healthy competition.
Is there a balancing act between the focus on aggression and also winning the ball and playing the team football?
Yeah, well, I guess when you're giving away free kicks, that definitely hurts the team, but to a degree, you have to stand up for your teammates. We definitely don't want to get pushed around, so I think we towed the line, and so did they.
Sydney, another strong midfield, but the third strong midfield in a week that you've come up against. What plans have you put in place for them?
We'll have a good look at them today, and then train it out on the track. But yeah, they're a young group that have all bought into a really strong system, and they're playing some really good footy, and they've got some really good players. So we're going to have a look at their strengths and try and have a go at them this weekend.
Just back on the Zach Merritt stuff, you've obviously been on the other side of it and got tagged earlier this year. What did you sort of think of it, knowing you've been in his shoes?
Yeah, well, I guess it's part of the game. When players are getting off the chain in the weeks leading up to a certain game, teams are going to put attention into them. I experienced that earlier in the year, and we put that attention into Merritt on the weekend. So I think it's just part of it, and both teams just have to respond.
And do you guys sort of know or can get engaged where you sit in the competition at present?
It's pretty tough. Like I mentioned previously, our best footy we think is really good, and then we do have patches where we let that slip. So it is tough at the moment to get a real gauge, but this weekend we're just going to try and go out there and get a win and hopefully sit 5 and 5 after this weekend.
Justin said on the weekend that it doesn't matter where you guys are on the ladder, Sunday was a game you should have won. What was the message after the game behind closed doors, and what did you take out of it this week?
Yeah, look, JL was disappointed, and so were we all. We thought that we controlled the game for probably longer than Essendon did, and for them to kick a few goals late in the last quarter and for us to let that game slip was really frustrating. We were really happy with how we defended, and our team defence we thought was really strong, but it was probably our connection with our forwards and our scoring that let us down. So we're going to be focusing on those things. Yeah, like I said, our team day we were really happy with, but still plenty to work on.
Making the most of your opportunities late in the game to get the win in the close ones, what are the sorts of things that you guys can work on during the week and implement against the Swans?
I think it's just putting yourself under pressure at training. it's hard to replicate the pressure of an AFL game, but the more you can try and put yourself under that pressure at training, the more you're going to be able to step up in the game. So whether it's blokes working on their set shots and trying to put themselves under pressure, or just our contest work, trying to lift the physicality at training, the more that we can make our training game-like, I think the more better suited we'll be to tight games like that.
And there was a report this morning saying that Adam Cherokee is reluctant to accept a long-term contract here. You're good friends with him. Do you get any sense that he'd be reluctant to stay?
Yeah, Ches and I are good mates, and to be honest, we don't really talk about contract stuff too much. But he's loving playing for the club at the moment, and he's always said that he was going to take his time and focus on footy and worry about contracts towards the end of the season. So yeah, I mean, the media has been putting a lot of stuff out there, but yeah, I haven't really been reading into it. And
you're locked in here very long term. Would you like to see him stay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd love to play with Chaz for my career. Yeah, we got drafted together, played our first 4 years together, so yeah, I'm definitely hoping that he signs.
Does the constant speculation on a player and their future, does it have any impact on their preparation and game style? How's he coping with that sort of external noise that seems pretty relentless at the moment?
Yeah, it's probably a question for Adam, but he's an ultimate professional. I can't imagine that the noise would be getting to him. He's just come back from injury and he's played a really good game of footy for us, so he's obviously doing something right. But yeah, I think he's too good at what he does to be worried about what everyone else is thinking, I think.
Alex Pearce is probably going to have to come back by the waffle. A player of that calibre going back to the second to big pot?
Well, it's up to the medical staff. Alex obviously is in our best 22, but if he needs to get his minutes up and get his confidence up playing through waffle, that's what he's going to have to do. So look forward to seeing how he goes and hopefully getting him back soon.